near-capacity crowd gathering in the Tacoma Dome in Tacoma, Washington. Fans of all ages are here to get behind their home-standing Supersonics in Game 1 of this series. How you doing, everyone? Jim Durham with Dick Versace, and welcome to this series, which we think features a very intriguing matchup.
Intriguing indeed, J.D. You got two high-powered, high-octane teams. Seattle, second highest scoring team in the NBA. The Lakers have been over 120 13 times. By the way, J.D., 13-0 in those games.
Well, of course, these two teams rely on their point guards to give them direction and offense. Nick Van Exel and Gary Payton.
Yeah, these two guys are really kind of clones of each other. In the 5 games that they played against each other, it's really been kind of a Las Vegas push. Look for these guys to really inspire their team, energize them.
As for Seattle coach George Karl, he had these comments about this point guard matchup.
I think the point guard is a very interesting matchup. I think it's a situation where you got two very volatile, emotional, talented point guards. Pate's carried us. I think Van Exel, when he plays best, is usually when the Lakers play best. We're worried about that.
The Lakers are making a change at the guard line at the other guard position as Anthony Peeler moves in for Eddie Jones.
Well, Anthony Peeler has been playing very well as of late. When he starts, he averages 20 points a game. Eddie Jones has really had a good rookie season. Hurt his shoulder. In the 5 games prior to that, he was averaging 22 a game. After the injury, only 13. J.D., when these two teams get together, let's rock and roll.
Well, we'll be back in Tacoma and have tonight's game after these messages. Here in the Tacoma Dome, a crowd of around 15,000 on hand for this Game 1 in this series. The Lakers and the Sonics, as we look at the starting lineups tonight. Ceballos, Campbell, and Divac up front for Los Angeles. They've got Van Exel and Peeler at the guard line. The Sonics with Schrempf, Kemp, Irvin Johnson, Nate McMillan, and Gary Payton in the backcourt.
Well, one of the things that Del Harris wants to do in this ball game to control this basketball game, he feels his team has to do 3 things, J.D. They've got to rebound, they've got to take care of transition defense, and they've got to have good ball distribution. Del Harris says that when they do those 3 things, his team wins basketball games.
And in the week or so leading up to this game, in preparation, they went back to the basics. Almost a training camp approach, as did most teams in the playoffs. The Lakers controlling the tip. Van Exel against Payton, and already we focus in on that point guard matchup. Nick Van Exel with a strong move to the hoop.
Well, Gary Payton said, when I play him, most effectively is when I'm up on him. He got up on him, Van Exel went right by him.
Supersonics coming off a 57-win season, the second best in team history to last year's 63. 4-3, it's Schrempf.
That is going to be a fun matchup all night, those two small forwards. Cedric Ceballos, high scoring for the Lakers, and Jeff Schrempf, high scoring small forward for Seattle.
Both of those guys coming off career seasons, and Alvin Campbell scoring in the post. Gary Payton runs the show for the Sonics, who during the regular season only lost 9 games here in the Tacoma Dome, and 2 of them came to the hands of the Lakers. Inside to Kemp. A poster dunk for Shawn Kemp. Ceballos. Johnson the rebound. Draws the double team, walks him out on the court. Kemp, Payton for 3.
You're going to see both teams doing a lot of double teaming. Both teams trying to disrupt the offense of the opposite opponent.
Sonics have scored 5 in a row and lead it by 4. That's Peeler with a touch and a miss. The rebound, Campbell. Divac with a scoop in traffic. It's out of bounds to Seattle.
Take a look inside. The ball is going to be punched inside. Threaded the needle, got it inside, and a great dunk.
4-point lead for the Sonics. Kemp against Campbell. And a travel call on Sean Kemp.
Del Harris was saying today that one of the things that makes his team effective against the Sonics, and they beat them 4 out of 5 in the regular season, is that they can play the rat game. And they got King Rat out there in Nick Van Exel.
Shot clock at 10. Here's Peeler getting a shot opportunity for Campbell. They rebound to Peeler, and it's out of bounds to Seattle.
You know, JD, when you think about this Laker team, they have a 12-man playoff roster. Only 6 guys on that roster have any playoff experience at all. 6 of them are rookies as far as playoff experience is concerned.
Isn't that something? It's hard to talk about a Lakers team with all the great championship teams that they've had in their history and talk about playoff inexperience. On a pass to the inside, Kemp trying to save the loose ball and does. Now it's McMillan. Payton again lines up a 3. And as McMillan came down with the rebound, we get a whistle and a foul on the Lakers. Anthony Peeler with the foul. 9:15 remaining in the opening quarter. The Sonics the ball in a 4-point lead. Gatlin Schrempf against Ceballos, leaves it for Payton. Kemp on the reload, shot against Campbell.
What you're seeing from Seattle is a team that has played together and won a lot of basketball games, more so than any other teams in the NBA. 120 games in the last 2 years.
But of course, what they're trying to do is get rid of the playoff pain of that upset loss last year in the first round. All those regular season victories they know mean nothing unless they can make some hay in the playoffs, and Payton scores to make it a 9-point run for Seattle. Timeout, LA. It's a 22nd timeout taken by Del Harris. 8:28 left in the first, and an outstanding opening for the home-standing Seattle Supersonics.
Well, right there was a terrific example of not taking care of transition defense. The rebound was secured far at the other end. Plenty of time for the Lakers to get back, get the ball under control, and get matched up. They didn't do any of those things. Some of those things are important tenets when you're talking about transition defense. That's why Del Harris took a quick 20 right there. He's very unhappy with that.
9 straight points for the Sonics and an 8-point lead. Seattle has hit on 5 of 6 from the field. Van Exel with Payton guarding him. Peeler plays into Divac. Rejected by Kemp. It's goaltending, and Vlade Divac gets the hoop.
And a great second effort by Vlade Divac. He really got up in traffic. Now look at here. That looks like there's a lot of contact in there, but he stayed with it, got back, got it up, and got the goaltend.
A 6-point advantage for the Sonics this trip. Gatlin Schrempf guarded by Ceballos. 5 on the shot clock. Kemp, and the rebound to Peeler. Lakers again set up in their half-court offense as Ceballos finds Peeler, and a foul on McMillan.
Foul is on number 10, Nate McMillan, his first. That's the first team foul of the quarter against Seattle.
Now let's check in with the third member of our broadcast team, Kevin Kiley.
Thank you, Jim. Nate McMillan, I talked to him before the game. He's had a season-long left ankle bone spur injury. Trouble playing defense, cannot elevate when he goes to the basket. They need him. He will play. Back to you, Jim.
And that last basket by Eldon Campbell. A shot missed by Payton. The tip also missed, and a loose ball foul whistled against Seattle.
A loose ball foul on number 50 of Seattle.
Nate McMillan is probably the most versatile player on the Seattle Sonics team. He's a guy that can play really small forward. He has in his career. He plays the off guard. He's one of their excellent defenders, and he's one of the top steal men historically in this league.
Kendall Gill checking in for Seattle. Nate McMillan going out. 4-point advantage for the Sonics. Here's the shot knocked down by Van Exel. As Van Exel hits the three, he's got 5 in the game. Some of that early momentum now being changed as the Lakers have scored the last 7. Getting trapped for 3. That's his second 3 already.
That doesn't have the quickest trigger. If you give him a window, a little bit of a look, he'll drain it.
About 6.5 left in the first. Sabalos picked up by Payton. 5 on the shot clock. Van Exel. Sabalos for 3. Vlade Divac the offensive rebound. Another block inside. No goaltend on that one. The Sonics have the ball. It went out of bounds and a timeout taken with 6:20 left.
Divac up. That's a pretty close call there. Irvin Johnson has become the leading shot blocker on this Sonic team. Did not even start at the beginning of the year.
It was a goaltend.
They did call it, okay.
They called the goaltend, and it's a 2-point advantage for the Sonics this trip. Now it's the Lakers showing a little half-court trap. Payton missing. Rebound to Divac. Van Exel running the show for L.A. A hoop ties it for Los Angeles. Van Exel against Gill. For 3, Nick Van Exel. And on the shot, we have a foul call. And a timeout taken by Seattle. Foul is on Kendall Gill. 5:51 left in the first. Sonics by 2. Back here in Tacoma, you know, if it weren't for the outstanding turnaround of the Dallas Mavericks, the Los Angeles Lakers would be the most improved team in the league this year.
It's a very dramatic turnaround. It's the biggest turnaround since the early 70s that any Laker team has ever made. Del Harris has been very, very sick. He's had an upper respiratory infection. So much so that he was only able to make one practice when they took the team over to Palm Springs to practice. He mentioned that when he went to that last practice that he was able to stand through most of it, but not able to talk very much. He must have said something in that 20-second timeout that inspired his team, because they've gotten right back into this basketball game.
They were down by 8 at the time, and now they have a chance at the lead should Nick Van Exel hit all 3 of these free throws. No good on the first one. Van Exel, in one of the 4 Lakers victories against the Supersonics, scored a career-high 40.
A lot of the reason that Nick Van Exel is open against this particular team, the Seattle Sonics, is that he is the guy that is spotting up on the perimeter, and he is available when the Sonics are doing their trapping. And when he's hitting them, he lights them up.
With 10 on the shot clock, Schrempf driving on Divac, and a foul call on Vlade Divac.
Foul on number 12, Vlade Divac, his first. Second team foul of the quarter called against Los Angeles.
You know, Vlade Divac is one of the underrated centers in this league.
Well, indeed he is. Vlade Divac is the leading passing center in the NBA. More assists than any other center in the league.
Oh, Sean Kemp with an acrobatic move.
You know, you talk about Sean Kemp and you say he doesn't have that one dependable move. He doesn't have a dream shake move, but he sure has a variety of moves.
3-point lead for the Sonics. Campbell in deep. Not there, lefty, and Kemp the rebound. Kendall Gill right back inside, this time to Irvin Johnson, and a foul call. Johnson on the line to shoot 2.
Well, Sean Kemp may not have a dream shake. He may not have that one dependable move, but as he got some creativity here, spun away from the pressure, a no look off the glass, in your face, baby crying, no denying. Sweetheart. Take another look at it. Spun away from the pressure. Look at the fans' reaction here. Oh.
Their reaction was almost equal to yours on the replay. Irvin Johnson at the foul line. Hits them both, and Seattle in front by 5. The small forward position, we touched on it earlier. Ceballos and Detlef Schrempf, and Ceballos so far looking for his first field goal. 6 to shoot. Eddie Jones with his first playoff attempt. And the rebound taken down by Kemp. Payton. Tipped in by Johnson.
What a remarkable turnaround. Irvin Johnson, the kid out of New Orleans, has made for the Sonics. He's their leading shot blocker. Wasn't even a starter at the beginning of the year. Very active player.
It's Van Exel with the steal and a foul. Kemp had stolen it initially, and then Van Exel made the steal. And as he went to the basket, Kemp picks up the foul, but Kemp felt that Van Exel cleared out with his free arm.
Take a look here. When you think about all the contact that goes on, JD, the rule now is everything is arm bar. So offensive players are using arm bars because you can no longer put your hand on to push out. You don't get those throwaways anymore. Van Exel's quick, strong. He's going to use the arm bar. All defenders are using the arm bar because of the hand checking rule. So you're going to get used to seeing a lot of arm bars, both on offense and on defense.
Sam Perkins and Sam Bowie have both checked into the lineup. Lakers showing some trap here in the half court. His steal by Jones, but he fouled Gill in the process.
Foul on number 25,
Eddie Jones picking up his first foul. Sam Bowie gives the Lakers another big body.
Well, Sam Bowie is one of those guys that can make a big team bigger.
Come playoff time, can you have enough big bodies?
No, you really can't. Look at the Bulls. In their 3 championship runs, they always had a lot of big bodies.
Gill has the shot blocked by Jones. The clock down to 10. Kemp wants the handle, and it's out of bounds to Seattle. Last touch by Eddie Jones. 8 on the shot clock. Perkins. Schrempf with Ceballos out on him. And we get a whistle and a foul call on Ceballos.
Fouls on number 23, Cedric Ceballos. His first.
There's a block. Another double team inside. Another block. You've got great defense going on by both teams. Great effort. Good scrambling.
And Detlef Schrempf, normally an outstanding free throw shooter, missing on the first of 2.
Detlef Schrempf feels that the double teaming that the Sonics do not only creates scoring opportunities, not only helps them lead the league, or they're tied for second in the league with Chicago in forced turnovers, but he says it just energizes their defense. And even when they're getting hurt, he still likes playing that way.
In the regular season, you saw the field goal percentage of Seattle at 57%. In the regular season against the Lakers, they shot about 46%. There's Bowie. He had to get the shot away. He was running out of time on a 24-second clock. Oh, Perkins from somewhere near Mount Rainier. And Kemp with a follow done, but a jump ball has been called.
That's a pretty quick jump ball. That was a pretty long shot by Sam Bowie. Del Harris just kind of threw his head back on that, kind of bit his tongue. He wasn't that thrilled with that shot. I know the shot clock was running down. They still had time for one more pass.
6-point lead for Seattle. And in the jump ball, we get a whistle. The ball belongs to Seattle. Sedale Threet checking in for the Lakers. Nick Van Exel goes out.
I think Sedale Threet is a player that can be a major factor in this series. He's got more experience than any member of the Laker backcourt, and as you know, he can take a team and put them on his shoulders in any given game.
Sedale Threet, who missed their last 8 games, he had an abdominal muscle pull. Outside shot for Gill, not there, and Ceballos the rebound.
Right now, the Sonics are feeling fairly comfortable, and they're settling for jumpers.
And the Lakers have to be fairly pleased with where they are, considering how this game began. Bowie against Perkins. And it's a 4-point ball game.
Nothing like a made turnaround jump shot to make you feel a little bit better. As Kevin Kiley pointed out, Sam Bowie's been battling a flu all day long, did not make the shoot around. Said he'll play, and he's playing.
Detlef Schrempf off the glass. Detlef Schrempf out of the box. Has 2 threes to his credit. Has 9 points scored. Ceballos on the drive, looking for something offensively. And it's out of bounds to Seattle. And a timeout taken with 2:02 left in the first. A 6-point lead for the Sonics.
Well, what I say about last year is it happened. We're here now, and we got to put that out of our mind. And everybody been waiting for us to get to this point, so we're here. So let's do it.
Gary Payton talking earlier tonight about that upset to Denver last year in the first round of the playoffs. Is this the best point guard in the NBA, Coach?
Well, I think you'll get a lot of arguments from a lot of people in Salt Lake City, Utah, but he's right up there with the best. He's having a whale of a year. Gary Payton is an outstanding intimidator defensively, one of the few guys.
Sam Perkins drains the 3.
Payton is one of the few guys that can stand in front of KJ and keep him there.
That basket by Perkins gives Seattle its biggest lead so far. 1:35 left in the first. A return to Jones from Bowie. Nice play. And Eddie Jones, the rookie guard, has his first 2 playoff points. Vince Askew, number 17 in the lineup for Seattle, and George Lynch, number 30 in the game right now for the Lakers. And we get a kick ball with 1:17 remaining in the quarter.
Look for 2 things to happen. Look against the second unit of the Lakers. Look for the Sonics to do more trapping, more pressing. Also look for them to do more posting up, more individual play. They think they can attack certain members of the second unit of the Lakers.
Kendall Gill on the feed from Askew.
In particular, the Sonics like to post up Gary Payton.
Payton guarding 3. Less than a minute for the first. Lynch against Askew. Divac with 7 on the shot clock. Against Sean Kemp, stumbles his way to the hoop and gets hit with an offensive foul.
Offensive foul on number 12, Vlade Divac, his second.
This is the second foul on Vlade Divac, and Del Harris getting a player up.
This is that old plan ahead sign. He kind of planned ahead. I don't think he looked into the roadblock that was standing right there. That was just an excellent effort by Sam Perkins to stand in there and take that.
Antonio Harvey, number 40, has checked in for Vlade Divac, going out with his second foul. There you see Antonio Harvey. Shot clock at 16, about 17 difference. Perkins again for 3. Lynch rips down the rebound. Sedale Threet drops it for Bowie. George Lynch with his first basket. Now Seattle can play it for 1. Closing seconds of the first quarter. Gill. Askew gets it away, but short. And the first quarter comes to an end here in Tacoma with the Sonics in front, 29-22. Welcome back to the Tacoma Dome with Kevin Kiley and Dick Versace. This is Jim Durham. This is the second game of our TNT doubleheader tonight. Earlier this evening on TBS, the Knicks win big against Cleveland. So New York takes the 1-0 lead in that Eastern Conference matchup. Indiana had to come from behind at home to beat Atlanta, and the Pacers go up 1-0 there. Reggie Miller leading the way, and the defending NBA champion Houston Rockets on the road leading in the third by 7 over Utah.
Well, JD, we talked about that all-important small forward matchup. Detlef Schrempf, 9 points. Ced Ceballos, a donut, 0-0, 0 for 4.
He hasn't scored, in other words. 10 on the shot clock. McMillan, nice feed into Askew.
What a handy player he is. Tough defender. Vincent Askew can score, can rebound, can play defense, defend. Every coach wants a player like Vincent Askew on his team.
Ronnie Divac playing with 2 fouls, guarded by Kemp. Gets the hook away. Left it short. And out of bounds to Seattle. The reason I said which one a moment ago was because McMillan is a similar player to Askew, and he made that great pass on the inside. Scoring leaders in that first quarter, Detlef Schrempf and Nick Van Exel. We're about a minute into the second quarter, a 9-point lead for Seattle. 5 on the shot clock, inside Perkins. No basket. 3-second call on Perkins.
3-second violation.
Well, that's too bad because that was awful good execution. The ball was threaded inside to Sam Perkins. Didn't look to me. It was a nice pass inside. Take a look. It's a nice little thread the needle here. See how he steps away and throws the ball away from the defense. Didn't look like he hesitated very long and made a sweet shot. No good. 3 seconds.
Sedale 3 leaves it for Divac. Ceballos has checked back in for the Lakers. Let's see if they try to get him going, try to get him off. Ceballos, the leading scorer on this Los Angeles team, and now an illegal defense call whistled against the Supersonics, the first of the game.
When you're watching the Sonics, watch how they just switch indiscriminately. That time, Sedale 3 was being guarded by Sean Kemp. They don't care who guards who. They don't care about size. They just want to make sure the ball is covered and there's man-on-man coverage.
Sedale 3 around McMillan, and a foul called on Nate McMillan. Second foul on McMillan.
That's the first team foul called against
First team foul against the Sonics here in the second quarter. Sedale 3 again, guarded by McMillan. Divac with a pitch out to Ceballos. Eddie Jones to 3. Now it's Divac who steps up.
There's that ball movement that Del Harris was talking about. Ball distribution. One of the 3 elements that he wanted. He got it that time.
The Lakers within 7. Sean Kemp. Kemp with 8. Nice little space maker in the lane. Found himself a little space. Nice clean look at the basket. And Tweet's pass to the inside. A foul is called.
Foul on number 17.
It's on Askew.
His first.
Look at Vlade Divac inside. Now that was at the end of about 6 passes. Kissed it off the glass.
The Lakers have won the last 3 playoff series with Seattle, and the interesting thing about that, of course, is that Magic Johnson played in each and every one of those. And then when the Sonics won the 78 and 79 series from the Lakers, that was a Seattle team that was on its way to play in the NBA Finals both years.
Well, you add it all up, and it all adds up to 12 straight games for the Lakers.
And the Lakers won both games here during the regular season. Ceballos finally has his first 2. Don't you think they need to get him off?
Yeah, I think they do, but I also think that George Karl's getting done what he wanted to do, and that's to control the transition offensive game of the Lakers. Basically, the Lakers are playing half-court basketball.
The Lakers send a posse at Perkins, 7 to shoot. Kendall Gill. And a whistle. Jess Kersey has the foul call. And Askew and Bowie exchange unpleasantries.
Don't be picking on a sick man. He said, I was in sick bay all day. I called up a sergeant and said, hey, I got to go to sick bay. I don't need the extracurricular here.
That foul, by the way, was on Eddie Jones, his second. And Kendall Gill getting to the free throw line for the Sonics for the first time in the game.
Both these coaches, J.D., Del Harris and George Karl, want to control the tempo of the game. Interestingly enough, the one wants to run, but they don't want the opponent to run on them. So they want to, it's sort of like having your cake and eat it too. Del Harris was saying that he wants about a 1.5 conversion rate on every fast break. He said they're getting about 1.1 on the season, and when they're not playing well, which was as of late, because they ended the season at 47 wins, they had an opportunity to get to 50, and they had 8 tries at it and didn't get it done. They got to 48, never got to 50, lost 7 of their last 8 to end the season, and their conversion rate during that period of time was 0.8.
Number 9, Nick Van Exel, back into the lineup for the Lakers. He came in to replace Eddie Jones, who picked up his second foul. Lonnie Divac working in the double team, and now it's 3 in and out for 3. Ceballos, though, with the rebound and follow. Sonics on the move. McMillan. Kendall Gill over Van Exel. And Seattle has its biggest lead at 11.
Kendall Gill has excellent jumping ability. That allows him, much like Michael Jordan, to get up over people and get a nice clean look.
Divac, Van Exel, the nail 3 for 3. Rebound ripped out of there by Gill. For 3. Kendall Gill has it stuck on automatic. And the Lakers want time. 8:17 for the half. They roar their approval in the Tacoma Dome. It's a 14-point lead for Seattle.
When you play against the Seattle Sonics, they have automatic traps. If you try to drive the baseline, you're going to get an automatic double team. Watch Divac. He fakes the baseline. Here comes the double team. There's your double right here. And it's going to cause a splitting of the trap, an effort to get the ball out, good hard pressing double team, a quick shot. Those are the shots that went down for the Lakers most of the season, popping out tonight.
Ceballos, as you see, with just 2 points so far. Detlef Schrempf with 9, all 9 in the first quarter. But the Sonics on a 7-point run, and they lead it by 14. Their biggest lead in the game. Eldon Campbell. Missed hit by Ceballos. Campbell comes out to Van Exel.
Mismatch inside.
Ceballos with a 3. Detlef Schrempf the rebound. Van Exel stepped up. It's 3 who stepped up to make the steal. He's going all the way, and Sedale has it. A delay of game warning against the Lakers. Now, this means nothing at this stage of the game, but oftentimes a coach likes to use that late in the ball game. Take that delay of game.
Now, when you want to look over an inbounds pass or play and you want to see the formation, you go ahead and take that delay of game. That won't be available now.
Perkins, Askew. Detlef Schrempf. Foul on the shot. Will shoot 2.
Foul on number 41, Eldon.
Foul is on Campbell. Now let's check in with Kevin Kiley.
Thanks, guys. Dick, you were just talking about ball movement with the Lakers. I was listening to Del Harris during the last timeout. He is imploring his big men. Eldon Campbell, Sam Bowie, Divac move the ball, recognize the double team, get it to the open man, and then it'll open up inside. He wants easier shots closer to the basket.
Yeah, that's a great point, Kevin. I think what Dell also would like is he'd like the ball to get out to someone that can penetrate. He'd like them to find Van Exel. He'd like them to find Threet, somebody that can make something happen after they get the ball out of the double team, kind of get into that rat game that he was talking about.
10 points for Schrempf in the contest. The Sonics up by 13. They led by 7 at the end of 1. They jumped out in front tonight and led 12-4 before the Lakers made a bit of a run at them. A slow start for the Laker leading scorer Cedric Ceballos. And Sedale Threet missing on the layup try. The ball out of bounds to Seattle.
Supersonics substitution.
Don't forget, at the conclusion of our game, we'll be selecting the Budweiser player of the game. Johnson back into the lineup for the Sonics. Sam Perkins is out. Van Exel putting pressure on Payton.
Now the Lakers are doing some trapping of their own.
Detlef Schrempf off the drive and a foul on the way in.
Foul number 41.
Eldon Campbell with his third personal.
Pretty much what you're seeing so far in this game is that in the controlling of the transition game, George Karl did not want the Lakers to get a lot of easy, fast break baskets. The Lakers have not been able to trigger offense through defense. On the other hand, what has happened with the Sonics is they haven't triggered offense through defense on steals and turnovers, but on missed shots, they've been able to get out and run and get some easy baskets.
Sam Bowie has checked in for Eldon Campbell for the Lakers with 14 to shoot. Detlef Schrempf on the miss. Askew way up for the rebound, and it's finally cleared out for Los Angeles by Van Exel. Now Nick Van Exel finds the seam to the hoop and draws the foul. He'll be on the free throw line.
Foul is on number 13, Kendall Gill.
Take a look at young Nick Van Exel. He's left-handed, pushing that ball down. He's in heavy traffic. You got to pound the ball down hard when you're in heavy traffic and keep it low. Then he gets up with great determination, picks up the foul, gets himself on the line.
Where he knocks down the free throw. 9 points for Nick Van Exel tonight. Van Exel making his first ever NBA playoff appearance. The kind of guy, just wish he had a little more confidence, you know?
Yeah, he did admit, though, that he was a little nervous playing his first playoff game, which I thought was kind of nice.
Askew gives it up to Schrempf for 3. Johnson, the offensive rebound, and a reach-in foul on Threet. That's the call. Sedale Threet picking up his first with 6:13 left in the half. We're in the Tacoma Dome along with Kevin Kiley and Dick Versace. Jim Durham, game 1 in this Western Conference playoff series. Seattle and Los Angeles. And the Sonics lead it by 11. Away from the play, a foul call.
Foul is on number 31 of Los Angeles.
It's on Sam Bowie. First foul on Bowie. The Lakers are over the limit. Vince Askew to the free throw line.
Shooting clock plus the penalty shot for 2 shots.
You know, the players from the Sonics call this Tacoma Dome. They call it the woodshed. And they're doing a little spanking tonight, at least in this first half.
Many of them who have been caught in traffic trying to get here on game nights, they feel as if they've been sent to the woodshed.
Maybe that's why they call it the woodshed. You know,
they appreciate the people of Tacoma because they've been great to them, and the people in the Tacoma Dome have been great, but they can't wait to get back to the Seattle Center Coliseum.
Yeah, because this is not their home. This is not a home court advantage. It's kind of a dome court advantage. I'm sorry, JD, I had to get that in.
Bad. Kemp picking up the personal foul. That's his second. 14 fouls on the Sonics. Their Coliseum over in Seattle, for those of you who aren't aware, being renovated. And did we hear today that should Seattle make it all the way to the championship series, that perhaps they would be able to move back in?
Well, they're talking about that. That's not a given, but it is a possibility. Right now, the bench for the Sonics is outscoring the Lakers 16-8.
That's been part of the Laker problem in their late season slide. And as Van Exel makes his move into the lane, a foul call. It's an illegal defense call, and that is the second of the game.
Against Seattle, their second offense for a technical foul.
So on the technical foul, the Lakers get to the free throw line. Off that bench scoring, Kendall Gill has given his club a lift. Van Exel, the only Laker to attempt free throws so far in this game. 12-point lead.
Into three-point shooting, the Sonics are 5 out of 10. The Lakers are only 1 out of 6.
Offensive foul on Ceballos.
One of the things that has made the Lakers successful during the regular season, and they won a preseason game as well from the Sonics, was the three-point shooting. Let's look at this drive inside. Detlef Schrempf had good position. Good call.
Cedric Ceballos with his second foul. The Sonics taking a 20-second timeout with 5:37 left in the half. The Sonics and the Lakers play here on Saturday in the second game of this series, before the series moves down to Los Angeles next week for Game 3 and possibly Game 4, depending on how it goes. They'll resume on Monday in the Great Western Forum. Then back here for a decisive fifth game if needed on May 6th. This game did not sell out, by the way. About 1,500 under capacity tonight. 12-point lead. Sonics the lead in the ball. Detlef Schrempf blew right by Bowie. A little too strong off the glass, and Ceballos tried to save. It's out of bounds. It belongs to L.A. Van Exel around the D-bot screen. Gets the corner turn baseline. An open attempt for Ceballos. Missed for 3. Here's Askew off the drive. Payton. It's a little wild right now. Loose ball out of bounds. It stays at that end.
Well, neither team minds it being wild. They both like that kind of game where it gets to be a scramble basketball game. There's a lot of good individual players here. Notice when the Sonics are on offense, any Sonic player can dribble the basketball, from Sean Kemp, maybe with the exception of Irvin Johnson. They all do a lot of penetrating and dishing. Penetrate and look to the perimeter.
Nate McMillan, who just came back in for Askew, finding Kemp, and an offensive foul on Kemp as D-bots went flying. Sean Kemp with his third. Here's Sam Perkins coming back to replace Kemp.
You know, when Bill Cartwright was brought here, they thought that, and he is activated and on this roster, they thought that Bill Cartwright would be a player that they could use against the big centers of the league. But George Karl likes to bring Sam Perkins into the game when he needs another big man because of Sam's offense.
Van Exel trying to dribble away from the double team. Anthony Peeler comes up shooting. Anthony Peeler connecting for his first 2 points. The Lakers hanging in. They're down by 10. They were down by as many as 14 earlier in this second quarter. 4:13 remaining. And the ball knocked out of bounds. It's kicked out, so a new 24-second clock awarded to the Sonics. As Miller comes in, Anthony Miller, number 2, 6'9" rookie from Michigan State, replacing Bowie.
Well, both power forwards, Eldon Campbell and Sean Kemp, saddled right now and on the bench with 3 fouls.
Payton, as they show double team, now backing in on Van Exel. Here's Perkins, had it knocked away. Peeler a steal, leaves it for Van Exel on the run. And Van Exel with the layup brings the Lakers to within 8.
Well, you saw a happy Del Harris on the sideline, still feeling the effects of that upper respiratory problem that he had. He wants his team out running. That made him happy. Nice, easy basket.
Detlef Schrempf rolls out of the post. And an offensive So foul called on Shrimp making that move.
On the other hand, what's happening with the Sonics is they're settling now for a lot of stationary basketball, standing, throwing into the post, trying to react to the double team. It's really not the kind of team they are. They do have good post-up people, but they really are better when they got movement and ball movement and player movement.
Del Harris liking what he sees because the Lakers with a chance to cut it to 6. 10 on the shot clock. Eddie Jones for 3. And on the rebound, a loose ball foul on Vlade Divac. And that's his 3rd.
Well, you don't want your player to get his 3rd foul in the first half, but you don't want your player not to be active. Divac, of course, has been chided all year long about his rebounding. He is not a strong rebounder. He's a player who sometimes can give you a good night, but he kind of comes and goes. You'll see him give the second effort there. You really don't want to discourage your player from being an active rebounder and trying to keep the ball alive.
Right now, Divac goes to the bench as Sam Bowie comes back in. McMillan shooting 2. Nate McMillan with his first point tonight. And Seattle back to a double-digit lead. Van Exel starts it with Jones, who tried to make the drive on McMillan and lost it out of bounds. So the Lakers, who were threatening to get back in it, now down by 10. And Seattle with a chance to extend as Shrimp comes up shooting. Perkins knocks it away, can't get to the loose ball. It's out of bounds to L.A. And a timeout taken by Seattle. 2:53 left in the half. The Sonics in front, 45-35. Coming up at halftime on the Reebok Halftime Report, Ernie Johnson and Isaiah Thomas with scores and highlights of other games. And now let's check back with Kevin Kiley with the report on Sam Bowie.
Thank you very much, Jim. I spoke with Sam twice today. Once in the hotel this morning where he told me he had an awful night with the flu. I spoke with him just before the game, asked him how he was. He shook his head like he probably couldn't play. Eldon Campbell, Divac both have 3 fouls. Sam Bowie has to play, and that's going to be a big factor. Back to you.
2:53 left to go in this half. The Lakers the ball. They've been behind virtually all the way. They had an early 1-point lead, and then the Sonics went on a 9-point run to go up by 8. 10 to shoot. Eddie Jones. Van Exel. Keeler. Gentle Shrimp collects the rebound for Seattle.
That was great defense. They did a double fly. One guy flew at the shooter. He up-faked him. He went by. Then another Sonic flew. A double fly. That's great defense.
Shrimp being guarded by Eddie Jones in the switch. Shrimp with 5 on the clock launches for 3, and Van Exel the Laker rebound. Van Exel with a quick release on his 3, and the ball tipped out of bounds by the Sonics. The shot did not touch anything, so 17 on the shot clock. The Knicks win big tonight. Indiana also a winner. So the home teams won in the East and lead it 1-0 in their respective series. Nick Van Exel. With Payton on him. Van Exel rolls out right by him. Nice long move by Van Exel.
Nice left hand. He's a left-hander, but he went up, he took a hit, and still got it down.
8-point lead for Seattle again. Less than 2 minutes for the half. In fact, 1:40 remaining. Nate McMillan. Perkins for 3. Sam Perkins with his second 3 tonight.
Well, they're 6 out of 13. The Lakers are 1 for 10 from the 3-point line.
Wheeler off the drive. So twice now the Lakers have scored attacking the basket with their guards. Here's McMillan. Dumps it off underneath. Payton has his shot turned away. Payton goes right back inside. Perkins another 3 try. Miller the rebound. Wheeler on the drive. Off the hand of Eddie Jones, and Perkins comes away with a loose ball.
Wheeler was wide open on. Oh, look at that!
showtime pass to Shrimp from Payton, and a foul called. Detlef shoots two. Second foul on Bowie.
Take a look at Nick Van Exel, showing if you play me tight, I'll spin. That's the direction I like to go. I'm a lefty.
Detlef Shrimp connecting on the free throw. He has 11.
You know that move that you saw Gary Payton do, the between the legs pass at the end of the break? Nothing new. I've seen him do it before. It's in his arsenal.
Detlef Shrimp with the 2 free throws. The Sonics by 11. Van Exel going right back to the hoop, and this time Askew takes the foul.
See, now what's going on right now is there's some confusion. You can see Detlef Shrimp talking to Gary Payton. He's going to come over and talk to him. He's saying, hey, when we play the pick and roll, we're supposed to ice it. That means to drive the dribbler towards the baseline and then disregard the screen, go over and double team the ball handler. That's how they like to play Nick Van Exel. For some reason, Gary Payton got up on his right hand and let Van Exel head right down the lane.
Substitution number 30, George Lynch.
Van Exel drops the free throw. He is 7 for 9 from the free throw line. And as that graphic would show you, he has attempted all of the free throws for the Lakers so far in this first round game.
Well, interestingly enough, in the 5-game regular season series, the Sonics missed an average of 10 free throws per game in the 5-game series.
Travel call against Seattle. The Lakers with the ball back. Turnover number 8 against the Sonics in this one. Both teams with 8 turnovers. Lynch, who's in, hands to Van Exel. They've got a chance at a 2-for-1. And Van Exel going to the hoop, draws the foul on the way in with 31.7 left. Well, wait a minute. What is the call?
Del Harris definitely wants a foul. I believe Eddie Middleton has a foul.
He does. It's on Shrimp.
Sometimes when the Sonics make these switches, they get terrible speed mismatches. Detlef Shrimp made a good effort to try to get in there, but here's Det at 6'10", 240, trying to guard that left-handed jet named Nick Van Exel,
who has 15 points in this ball game. For Van Exel, an 8-point lead. And remember, the Lakers will get it back on shot clock possession. About 7 difference. Perkins lines up another 3. Lynch with the rebound. It's in the hand of Van Exel. The final seconds of the first half here in the Tacoma Dome. All things considered, the Lakers, who were down by 14 at one time, trailed by 8, and Peeler gets it away in time. It's an 8-point lead for Seattle at halftime. Nick Van Exel in his playoff debut, carrying the Lakers so far. He's got 16 points here at halftime. 50-42, Seattle with the halftime lead. Ernie Johnson and the Reebok halftime report coming your way after these messages. With Kevin Kiley and Dick Versace, Jim Durham back here in the Tacoma Dome. Halftime, Seattle in front of the Lakers by 8. Time now for the Budweiser game summary in this first half tonight. Three-point shooting, all Seattle. Off the bench, all Seattle. And a few moments ago, we were reminded that both of these teams have an Irvin Johnson on their all-time rosters. Magic Johnson signing an autograph. As for the Lakers and how they should come back, here's Kevin Kiley with Del Harris.
Coach, 42 points in the first half, 3 fouls to Divac and Eldon Campbell, but you're still in the game. What's the plan for the second half?
Yeah, well, obviously, we got to keep out of the foul trouble, and some shots got to go down. We're only 1 for 11 from the 3, and they made 6 of them. That's the difference in the game.
You seem to be concerned with the ball movement with your inside guys.
Well, our spacing is what I'm concerned about. Our bigs haven't been doing a good job of staying spaced inside on the low post, and then our shooters have spotted up shallow, and that allows them to do a lot of zoning out there without us exposing it. We got to get our better spreads.
All right, Coach, thanks a bunch.
Okay.
And his bigs have gotten themselves into foul trouble also in the first half.
Yeah, but, you know, I think there's some positive things. Coaches always look at the negatives, and the positives are that they are able to penetrate on Seattle much of the second quarter. In particular, Nick Van Exel had a great first half, 8 points in the first quarter, 8 points in the second quarter, a steady basketball game. But penetration is coming from other places, and I think Seattle's got a little bit of a problem that they got to address themselves.
We talked earlier about the matchup, Van Exel and Payton, and earlier today, Nick Van Exel had, he talked about that matchup as well and with us, and there you see how well he's played him so far.
I can't let him back me down into the post. He's a great post offensive player, and he's great in transition. We have to stop their transition. And the way he's going to play me, I don't think he's going to leave me. I don't think he's going to do much double teaming like he usually does. And he's going to be up in my grill a lot.
In his grill.
Well, you know, it depends on if you're who's doing the barbecuing here, but right now it's Seattle doing the barbecuing and Nick Van Exel trying to do some grilling himself. You know,
off the inbounds pass, we get a foul immediately on Van Exel.
You don't like to see that if it's a dead ball foul.
No, it was loose. The ball was coming in.
It would be an automatic 2 shots.
Right.
And you don't like to see that. And here's the other thing I think is really interesting from the first half. The Lakers had only 6 assists in the first half. Neither team really is dominating the other on the boards. The free throws are fairly close. It's an 8-point differential. The turnovers are very close. In fact, they're even. It's 8-8. But 8 to 6 assists is just not very much.
You know, we said when the half came to an end, here's a turnover on Payton. They said he cupped the dribble. We said at the half that Van Exel had 16 points. Actually, they've corrected that now. He has scored 18 in the game. They had mistakenly awarded 2 points to Anthony Peeler that he didn't have coming. So it was an 18-point first half for Nick Van Exel. Not bad in your playoff debut, huh?
Especially for a young man who said he was a little nervous.
Into Campbell, and a foul called as the Lakers went post to Campbell. It's on Irvin Johnson.
Nick and I were talking. I actually coached at Nick Van Exel's high school, Kenosha St. Joseph's, and Dan Trabilla was his high school coach, and he was my former assistant. And Nick and I were chatting, and said he was a little nervous. I said, if you're nervous, just take a good hard drive to the basket. And exactly,
he's done that a few times.
Not only did he do it to open the game, JD, I mean, he's been doing it the whole game.
So the Sonics, after the steal, trying to increase their 8-point lead. Irvin Johnson. Ceballos the rebound, ahead to Van Exel. Spins in and leaves the ball for Peeler. Back to the inside, but a 3-second violation is called.
Well, that's too bad. Ceballos knew he was in the lane a little too long, so he tried to do a touch shot as opposed to a touch pass. He actually got it in. 3 seconds was called.
A big win for the Utah Jazz tonight as they hang on at home and keep the home court advantage in their best-of-5 Western Series with the defending world champion Rockets. Ceballos making the steal here. The ball knocked out of bounds to L.A.
Well, the Lakers are doing a little double teaming of their own. They want to energize their break. They want to get some fast break points. They haven't been able to do it much in the first half. In reality, JD, neither has the Sonics.
Exactly.
The Sonics really haven't gotten a lot of points off of turnovers or forced turnovers to get easy scores.
Campbell to the hoop and draws the foul. 2 shots coming for Eldon Campbell as Irvin Johnson picks up his third. 2 team fouls on Seattle. And in less than 2 minutes here of the third quarter, each team has turned it over twice already. So that further points out what you were saying.
Sorry, JD. And here's another point that I think is kind of interesting. Neither team is shooting the ball well. The Lakers 40% from the field. The Sonics 43%. That is going to equate to a lot of easy baskets that you can get off of misses. Not forced turnovers, not steals, not pressure defense. Maybe the defense is causing the misses. I don't know. I've seen a lot of easy shots just not go down for both teams.
Eldon Campbell splits the free throws. A 7-point lead for Seattle this trip. Payton in the post against Van Exel. Out to Kemp. Sean Kemp in double figures. 2 minutes have gone by here in the third. Eldon Campbell draws the double team. Peeler with 10 to shoot. Divac. Ceballos off the drive. Knocked away. And last touched by Seattle. With 4 on the shot clock, the Lakers to come in. Campbell and Divac have each picked up 3. And Kemp and Johnson have picked up 3 for Seattle. Gary Payton. Shrimp.
But it was Sean Kemp that helped create that pass with that basket with a bullet pass well beyond half court. A deep outlet. Payton got it over to Shrimp for an easy basket.
Supersonics have scored the last 4. Peeler gets it away. Then he had to arch it high, and the ball knocked out of bounds. It belongs to Seattle. Gary Payton leaves the ball for McMillan as Payton goes down the post. Van Exel. McMillan underneath to Johnson. Irvin Johnson. Timeout taken by the Lakers. They roar to life in the Tacoma Dome as the Supersonics have opened up a 13-point lead. 8:56 left in the third. This is a full timeout.
Let's introduce Pizza Hut's most
In the first night of the playoffs, the home team has held. The Knicks win tonight at home. Indiana likewise. And in the West, the Utah Jazz by 2 over Houston. Here the home team leads it. Campbell the dunk. And it's an 11-point lead for Seattle.
That was a great backdoor and a wonderful pass by Vlade Divac. He's an excellent passer out of the post. We mentioned before the leading passing center in the NBA.
Sean Kemp draws the double team. Detlef Schrempf. Now the shot comes up short, and the Lakers have it with a chance to trim it to 9. Anthony Peeler against McMillan. Divac fouled by Kemp. Sean Kemp with his 4th. 3 team fouls on Seattle.
You know, we talk about the passing of Vlade Divac. Watch inside. He senses a double team. There's an open man. Rotation is slow. Campbell for an easy dunk. Just like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar used to do.
You are correct, sir. 8 minutes left in the third. Lakers the ball down by 11. Sonics double up on Divac. He finds Ceballos for 3. And on the tip try by Peeler, a loose ball foul call.
Fouls on number 1,
Anthony Peeler with his 2nd. 2 team fouls on the Lakers in the third. Sean Kemp on the bench after picking up his 4th.
When Ted Ceballos was at Phoenix, that's the way you used to play him. Give him the jumper. Make him live off the jumper. Don't let him take the ball to the basket. Don't let him flash into the lane and get short little shots around the basket. He's settling for the jumper almost this entire game.
Nick Van Exel off the steal. Peeler knocks out a 3. Anthony Peeler with that 3. That's just the second 3 by the Lakers so far tonight. And McMillan comes back with a quick counter for Seattle. His first field goal. for the Sonics. Devots in the double team. There's Ceballos. Now Campbell with 7 to shoot. 3 on the clock. They're running out of time. Van Exel gets it away. Short. 24-second clock violation. Magic Johnson can't bear to look right now.
Well, Coach Magic Johnson couldn't bear to look when he was coaching. Oh, a roll of the eyes. You got to have a little bit better shot clock awareness is what he's thinking. Of course, he had an automatic ticker in his head.
But in fairness to the Lakers, they were operating at the other end away from their bench. And you know you're not going to get any help from the other guys. Taking a pitch out to Shrimp. Now it's McMillan for 3. And Devots rides Shrimp off the play and gets hit with a loose ball foul. 4 fouls on Vlade Divac.
Third team foul quarter called against the Lakers.
I just took a look at Sean Kemp. He kind of roared back into his seat saying, let us play. We want to play a little more physical.
Payton has it blocked by Devots. They loose ball to Eddie Jones, and here come the Lakers. Through it all, the Lakers have hung around. Payton a steal, and then cross-court pass to Peeler. McMillan, Devots the rebound, and he's fouled trying to make the outlet pass. It's on Payton. The 4th team foul on Seattle. Payton picking up his first.
Vlade Divac, 4 fouls. Took a lot of guts, but he had a lot of space in there. He felt comfortable, got the good block. Del Harris tried to get away with playing 3 guards for a while. Now he brought Sam Bowie back. In place of Devots with 6 minutes left in the 3rd. Van Exel. Wow, Nick Van Exel, how did he even see the rim? He's still got the 3 guards in there. He's got Eddie Jones,
Peeler, and Van Exel.
and the 2 left-handers in the backcourt in Van Exel and Peeler.
Number 1.
Anthony Peeler picks up the foul here, his 3rd.
4th team foul in the quarter called against the Lakers.
8-point lead for Seattle. Their biggest has been 14. The Sonics this season in the regular season lost both times to the Lakers here. Van Exel to steal, coast to coast. It's a 6-point game. 5.5 left in the 3rd.
Del Harris has got more speed in the lineup because of the 3 guards, and he can pressure Campbell and go for steals.
Looks like there, but Payton fights his way to the hoop. Eldon Campbell rips down the rebound. Peeler runs the show for the Lakers. The hoop makes it a 4-point game. That pass tipped, but Campbell controls. 8 on the clock. Van Exel for 3. Book it. Nick Van Exel, his 2nd 3 of the game. It's a 3-point Seattle lead, and George Karl takes time. 4:52 left here in game 1. The Lakers are back from a 14-point deficit.
Back in Seattle, where the Lakers trail the Sonics by 3 points. Nick Van Exel of the Lakers have scored the last 7 points. At halftime, I talked to the Seattle coach, George Karl. How do you stop this guy? He said they were being lazy on the weak side. He was too quick for him. Slippery was the word he used. Nick Van Exel, a happy guy in his first ever NBA playoff game. Jim, Dick?
25 points for Van Exel so far in the game. Remember, earlier this year, he dropped a 40-point load on Seattle.
Well, he's got 25 tonight, J.D. 7-4-11 from the floor. That little reaction that he uses looks like boxing combinations. He may be going for the knockout punch.
Against the Sonics, who had that commanding lead early, and a walk whistle, or a 3-second call whistled against Seattle. The Lakers the ball. A hoop makes it a 1-point game. A long one ties it. You got to tip your hat to this Laker team. They fought their way through the flu, through some late season injuries, and tonight foul trouble to hang right in there. Eldon Campbell, rebounded by Johnson. Kendall Gill. Peeler closes out on him, and a blocking foul on Peeler.
That's a very, very tough call. Looked like Peeler had some decent position there. It's, you know, it's one of those calls, JD, you know, that can go either way. Let's take a look. Now, he did kind of throw his body into it. Looked like a little bit of a lowering of the shoulder by Kendall Gill, but legit call.
Anthony Peeler with his fourth, and Kendall Gill on the free throw line as this was the 15th foul. Take a look at tonight's Chevy scoreboard. Elsewhere in the NBA playoffs on opening night, New York big at home behind Ewing. Indiana came from behind Reggie Miller with 24 to lead the Pacers to an 8-point win. And Utah behind 28 by Stockton nips the Houston Rockets 102-100. So the home team winning in all 3 games so far. And here Seattle has increased its lead to 5, 60-55.
But it looks like the teams that are not the favorites are not going to go down easy. Atlanta played very well in their game against Indiana, and obviously defending champion Houston played very well as well.
Eldon Campbell, and that's twice he's missed. The rebound to Perkins. Kendall Gill. Kemp against Bowie. Perkins. George Lynch closing out on him. 5 to shoot. Now it's Payton. And Van Askew did get it away in time. Bowie the rebound. Van Exel spins free of Payton. A little over 3 minutes left in the third. The Lakers need a hoop to cut it back to 3. Bowie. Eddie Jones for 3. And the long rebound to Payton. In transition, Kendall Gill gets the layup.
Oh, that was a tough move. He got the ball caught on the defender's waist, and it kind of slid along his waist. He picked it off his waist, and Kendall Gill was able to finish. Tough shot.
Kendall Gill with the last 4 points for Seattle. Lynch. Jones against Kemp. Bowie's inside pass deflected. Jones with 3 on the shot clock. Van Exel needs to be creative here. Almost came up with it. And the ball out of bounds to Seattle.
Seattle reacting to the missed shot. Long rebound is sometimes the outlet pass for a fast break. Look at Kendall take the ball off the defender's hip. Kendall Gill took it off the hip and put it in the basket.
Payton lobs for Kemp. And on the play, a foul call. It's on Eddie Jones. The Lakers are over the limit. Eddie Jones with his third. Sean Kemp visits the free throw line for the first time.
When you watch the Lakers on offense, notice how far out on the floor they are. They're spacing up well beyond the three-point line. This is the kind of spacing that Del Harris has been asking for. It looks like maybe Sean Kemp hurt his hand on this.
Missed both free throws. Campbell the rebound. 62-55. Sonics the lead. Lakers the ball. A little over 2 minutes left in the third.
2 minutes remaining in the quarter. 2 minutes.
Van Exel with 10 to shoot. They double on Bowie. Campbell comes up shooting. Eldon Campbell is going to have that shot. He has 9 points tonight, 5 of them in this quarter. Askew against Lynch. And on a pass inside, a foul on Bowie, guarding Perkins.
Looked like Sean Kemp might have hurt his hand. He banged it pretty hard there. See him holding his hand? Probably just got a little tweak there. Got to play through those tweaks in the playoffs.
Sam Perkins, an 80% free thrower, has the first one.
Except for an occasional steal or an occasional long rebound, we're evolving into a half-court game here. On the half court, neither of these teams are great executors of set plays. They rely so much on getting their points out of transition. So now I see that the post-up play of the Lakers is the primary thing that they're going to, and the Sonics are starting to run baseline screens.
Shot clock down to 7. The Lakers play into Campbell. Knocked away, Perkins. Still loose. Van Exel against the shot clock. Ooh, off the back iron, but it is a shot clock violation. The ball did not change possession. That's the reason it was going down. How about Van Exel had the presence of mind?
Took the words out of my mouth. I tell you what, this kid is something special. Second year in the league. He knew the shot clock. Loose balls being bounced around. They're saying it is not in possession, so the shot clock is still the Lakers. He knew it. He read the whole thing. Just couldn't get it off in time. Very heady play.
And almost hit it. Payton. Askew's pass picked out of the air by Lynch. Inside of a minute. Van Exel comes to get it. Trapped in the corner. Lynch with 10 to shoot. Into Bowie. Stolen by Kemp.
A lot of standing around on the weak side by the Lakers. They should be doing some flashing into the lane. Bring the big men in the lane.
Sam Perkins hits again, and it's a 9-point lead for Seattle. It's a 20-second timeout taken by Del Harris with 32.6 left in the third. After Los Angeles had it down to 3 and had the ball on at least one occasion with a chance to tie or cut it to 1. Now the Sonics have opened up the 9-point lead. NBA playoffs resuming on Saturday. The game here in Seattle, the Lakers, game 2 on NBC, 3:30. The Cleveland Cavaliers and the Knicks at 1 o'clock Eastern. On Sunday, Boston at Orlando, Portland at Phoenix, and Chicago at Charlotte.
I'm sure that Del Harris was talking about the lack of activity on the weak side. The weak side was just standing around and watching what was going on in the strong side.
Lakers the ball, about 8 difference. Shot clock at 13. Van Exel. The pass to Bowie loose. Seattle is steal. Kemp puts the Sonics up 11. Now with 8 seconds left, the Lakers trying to get something here as the third quarter's coming to an end. Eddie Jones missing for 3. And it's the Supersonics who have the momentum after 3. Seattle by 11 on a 10-2 run to close out the third. And the ball tipped to the floor where McMillan comes away with it. Askew inside. Gets his own rebound. Vince Askew.
That's why you like a Vince Askew. He'll go in there and do that trench work for you. He'll defend for you. Whatever role you want to play, he'll go and give you good minutes. He works his minutes.
The Seattle Supersonics have their biggest lead of the game at 17. Eddie Jones for 3. The rebound to Perkins. Throwing deep for Kemp. Touchdown. The last 30 points scored by Seattle. Shrimp on the block on the attempt by Smith. Timeout taken. It's all Sonics right now.
my friend. JD, the Lakers averaged 25.3 assists a game in the regular season, over 82 games. They had 6 assists at half. With 6 minutes and 17 seconds left in this game, they have 10 assists.
They also have only scored 62 points. They are flirting with team history in that regard. 72, the fewest points by a Lakers team in the playoffs back in 72. Van Exel fouled by McMillan.
Fouls on number 10, Nate McMillan.
McMillan with his third.
That's the third.
The Pacers and Knicks win in the East tonight, and Utah hangs on at home against Houston in the other Western Conference series that opened on this night. 81-62, Seattle with 5:53 remaining, and the ball knocked out of bounds with 15 to shoot. The Lakers will come in.
Once Seattle stopped the penetration of the Lakers have been reduced to a pass and stand post-up game, and it has not worked. It's not been very successful. It is not how they want to play. Divac.
Eddie Jones hustles for the rebound. Tony Smith for 3. So Smith, who came into the game a few moments ago, has his first 3 points. Inside pass, Miller knocked it away. Lakers to steal, but McMillan a re-steal. To Kemp. Wow! Over Divac.
Well, that was one of those situations where the Lakers thought they had a steal, so they had no defensive balance at all. They thought they were on the other way. Just get a basket for the purple. John Kemp said,
Miller working inside, and now it's Van Exel. Nick Van Exel's been quiet for a while. He's had a big game, though, 27. And a foul called on Van Exel. Two fouls on Van Exel.
That's the second team foul of the quarter.
It's the second team foul against L.A.
Now, we talked about big cloud, little cloud. Well, Seattle is working on a big cloud and getting a big fight out of the little cloud. And the little cloud is a season record against this Laker team. Lakers won 4, Seattle won 1.
McMillan a steal. The throw ahead to Kemp is out of bounds. The Lakers have it with 4:36 left. The Lakers, though, in their 4-1 season series victories, they won the first 4, and then they were really drilled in the Great Western Forum in the Seattle win about a week ago.
That's right. Seattle had the Lakers down 30 in the first half, won that game by about 16. But the big cloud over the Seattle team is what happened to them last year when they had the first seed, Denver had the 8th, and historically they lost. The only time an 8th seed has ever beaten the first seed. That's the big cloud. That's the demon that they must dispel.
And they can't do it until they win this series, because they won the first 2 games against Denver last year on their home court. So even if they win tonight and come back and win again on Saturday,
only a little chip in the big cloud.
Still some thunder and lightning in that big cloud. Nick Van Exel, yep, and a foul. Well, Nick Van Exel has, without question, won that matchup with Gary Payton.
14 foul, a substitution for the Lakers.
But that's the individual success. The team success is all Seattle. Tomorrow night on TBS, the Bulls in Charlotte at 7. On TNT, it's the Celtics and the Orlando Magic at 8 o'clock Eastern. Denver and San Antonio opening their series in the Alamo Dome at 9:30 on TBS. And yours truly and Dick Versace will be in Phoenix, where Portland visits the Suns on TNT. Ball out of bounds. Loose ball foul is the call.
Van Exel, JD, may have won the individual battle, as you pointed out, but it's the Sonics, it's the Seattle team that's got to be feeling very good about what they've accomplished here today in Game 1 of this 5-game series. Gary Payton cares little about how he does individually. He cares more about how his team is going to do in this series. He said earlier today that, hey, even wins aren't going to do anything for us. We've got to win a series.
12 on the shot clock. The ball knocked out of bounds by L.A. Seattle to come in with 3:27 left. Payton brings it into Perkins. 85-69 Sonics. Payton gets inside, hands to Kemp, and a foul call. It's on Campbell. 4 fouls on Eldon Campbell.
To the free throw line, number 40,
Sean Kemp back to the line. He's played his way through foul trouble tonight.
Yeah, the Seattle team did a very good job of that. The Lakers were in foul trouble too. I thought that they had a very good move. That they made a good move. That Del Harris brought the 3 guards in. It gave some quickness to the Laker lineup. They got some easy baskets out of it. But when he went back to the bigger lineup and they went to that plotty post-up game, it just didn't work.
Sean Kemp with 19 points. Eddie Jones, who just came in for Van Exel, into Campbell. There's Wheeler for 3.
You see that balloon pass that was thrown out there? When you throw a balloon pass to the weak side, you give the defense plenty of time to rotate.
Detlef Schrempf is fouled on a 3-try. Peeler picks up the personal foul. Schrempf will be on the line to shoot 3. When we come back, the Sonics up by 17. With 2:52 left, the Lakers find themselves down 17. It's almost to the point now, Dick Versace, where if you're Del Harris, you're already starting to think about Saturday, perhaps.
Well, I think Del Harris, number 1, is happy that he could get through the game physically. I mean, he has really been seriously sick. He was only able to make 1 practice over in Palm Springs, and that practice he just stood there and he barely spoke. We spoke to him today, and he said he was feeling a little bit better. George Karl, on the other hand, had this to say. I'm in kind of a Zen state this year. He said, I can deal with things better. He says, I don't have the raccoon eyes of the rest of the coaches in the league.
The what?
A Zen state.
No, the raccoon eyes.
You know, those baggy eyes that, that Mike Fratello and all the other coaches, and Bill Jackson and all NBA coaches get. But George Karl really is taking a more laid-back attitude. His feeling is that he has to dispel the demons as well. He has to make sure he gets through this first series. Remember last year how badly he took it? There was even some talk about he was going to go to therapy over losing that early, first-round playoff series. Well, he took a laid-back attitude, and he was saying that it's really helped him this year. He feels better about what his team is doing, and he feels that, oh, how about this? A little
from Gill to Schrempf, and the rebound to Miller.
French pastry from Kendall Gill.
The Sonics' 19-point lead equals the largest. 2:30 left. Peeler from the perimeter. 9 points for Anthony Peeler. Askew and Johnson ready to come back for Seattle. Detlef Schrempf finding Perkins. Kemp. Schrempf putting the finishing touches on this Seattle victory with 2 minutes left.
2 minutes remaining in the quarter. 2 minutes.
Tony Smith. Miller underneath to Campbell. Didn't realize at first how open he was. And Perkins a block. 6 to shoot. Peeler for 3. And it's Campbell who picks up the loose ball. Smith off the drive. Lost it at the basket. Schrempf a throw ahead to Payton, who leaves it for Gill.
If he would have made that, I would have said, I believe. He tried to find a way to get it in. Barely got it off the glass.
Kemp and Miller go after the loose ball. And we get a call here as the ball is knocked out of bounds.
Late double team, but Sean Kemp finds the open man. Detlef Schrempf will not miss that shot. He is deadly inside and deadly in traffic from about 7 or 8 feet.
That foul was on Anthony Miller.
Number 55, Steve.
come on for Seattle, number 55. So George Karl going deep into his bench. Askew has also come in.
Well, you know, Gary Payton is playing with a broken left ring finger. He went to the doctor, had him put a little splint on it. You know how they tie the two fingers together. He came back. Everybody was being very solicitous about the finger. He said, hey, look, my hand, it's my finger, it's my team, I'm okay. I like that attitude.
Oh, yeah. Sonics by 21. Miller. Smith with a pass inside, untouched, out of bounds. Seattle the ball. You know, the Lakers still have to score to avoid recording their all-time playoff low. And we get whistle. Seattle does it again.
They're going to take the ball out deep. I'm not quite sure what happened.
Minute 9 left. They have a new 24 up there.
Byron Houston set to come in. Sean Kemp set to go out.
And now we have a minute 11 remaining.
Couldn't get him in.
Nope. He is at the scorer's table, though, Houston. Johnson has it knocked out of bounds by Smith, and now Houston will come in, and Kemp will get a hand as he heads for the bench. 21 for Sean Kemp tonight, 9 in the fourth.